Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are going to do a character guide on Quistis. Quistis just got her C90, and she's looking a lot better after her C90. She was pretty good before that, but her C90 really helps her out. So, and she's a fairly simple character to use, so I think she's a very easy character for players to use, so I think a lot of players might like to use her, and she can help do a lot of delay, which a lot of players like to do as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at her artifacts, her spheres, and then we'll jump into a quick showcase and kind of show how she works. So for artifacts, she's pretty basic. She's just attack 108, max brave 330. I actually don't have any. I haven't actually worked on her passives yet this run, so I'll make sure to get those done before her event goes away. But yeah, you want to go attack 108, max brave 330 on her. And then for her spheres, so she's got D slots and E slots, okay? So for the D slot, you just basically want to do anything that will improve hers or the party's attack, brave damage, or max brave. I think max brave is kind of interesting on her because she does a lot of battery, and her battery scales off of max brave. So giving her max brave wouldn't be the worst. I'll probably change mine, but right now I just have, oh, what's his face? Why can't I think of his name? Dude from Final Fantasy 13. I've got his, sphere on her, and just gives the party attack 2% for 6 turns. So we've got that one on there. That's just a party attack buff, which is fine. So go through your D spheres, see what you have, and see what you're interested in using there, right? And then for the E slot, the thing with the E slot, right? The E spheres, they're either going to apply debuffs or like do effects when enemies are debuffed. She fairly regularly is applying debuffs, so I recommend giving her the spheres that when you debuff an opponent, then it will like increase your attack or max brave or the party or something like that. So I think one of the best ones you can put on her is Eldnarsh. So whenever you debuff the target, it raises your max brave by 3% up to 5 times once per turn. This is really good because it's going to help her battery out, right? And then I went and put Seymour on her. When inflicting a debuff, raises her own attack. So look through your E spheres, see what you have that like basically gives you buffs when you debuff. I think those are really good ones to put on her. Yeah, so that's what I would kind of do for her spheres there. Okay, so then let's go ahead and we'll just jump into a quick little showcase here and see how she's operating. So we'll just go ahead and hop in. I'm just hopping into Edgar's Lufenia Plus. I'm finding it's a very good one for showcases, just because the orb is non-lethal and it's not like that hard of a fight. So I should just be able to kind of do my business in here and show her off. So she's not typical in that, like, a lot of characters you want to jump in and use the LD right away, but with Quistis you actually don't want to do that. So we'll kind of explain that in a minute. The reason why you don't want to use her LD right away is her LD is going to actually refresh her Degenerator Whip, which is her 35 CP attack, and that's like one of her most useful attacks, and you don't have a lot of uses of it. So you want to make sure you're getting the benefit of regenning that, right? So you don't want to use her LD right away. So let's go ahead and we'll just pop a couple Garnet things here, doing Garnet stuff. Alright, so Quistis is going to have a turn here. The thing with Quistis that makes her so much better with her C90 is that her EX is ridiculously fast charging. Like, you're going to have that up every other turn, and it's one of her better damaging attacks. Well, before the C90, the EX didn't do a lot of damage, and now it does actually fairly decent damage. So she's going to very consistently be delaying and doing decent damage with her EX, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by using Degenerator Whip. So Degenerator Whip is going to be a single target attack, and that is going to delay them by 4 turns. It's the biggest delay in the game. You see, we just pushed him way the heck back there, right? And it's instant turn rate, so I could just do it again if I want to. So if I want to delay this guy back as well, I could degenerate them as well, and it's instant turn, so I can just use that for free, right? Which is very nice. Now you see it doesn't have a ton of uses. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and use the LD. So what the LD is going to do, the LD here is called Ray Whip. So Ray Whip is going to actually delay all enemies by 2 turns. So like everything she does delays. The thing that's really cool about this, so it's going to refresh one of her Degenerator Whips. But then the other thing it's going to do, other than refreshing her Degenerator Whip, is it gives her this really unique buff that makes it so she can delay enemies that resist delay. So basically, you can always delay with her. So if you're someone that wants to force the issue with delaying an enemy, you can bring her with and she'll still delay. So it's like when those enemies get those silver framed turns or whatever, like she can still delay through that where most characters cannot. And I believe up until this day, in JP, they have never gotten another character that does that, right? So that's the LD. So we have the EX up, so we might as well use the EX right away. So the EX does, I believe, do a 1-turn delay now. I don't think it did that before. So yep, it did a 1-turn delay. Of course, I did them in the wrong order, but normally you'd want to delay the back one. But yeah, it did a 1-turn delay, and it does a little debuff on them as well. So it's very, very good. And then it also gives her like one of her buffs that just helps keep her going, right? So the EX, you're going to use that pretty often. So we'll go ahead with Rosa here. We'll just do Divine Blast. That's fine. And then we'll just get through a turn with Garnet here. But yeah, Quistis is actually a really nice, fun character to use. Now, if you're someone that actually likes to play the game and like interact with the bosses, then I don't recommend Quistis, because the whole point of her kit is just to keep delaying so that you don't have to deal with the bosses, right? All right, so we're going to do that. So now Quistis, we've done Degenerator Whip. We've talked about that. We've done Ray Whip, which is the LD. Her ability recovery, that basically just gives her a skill use back again. So that's another way you can get Degenerator Whip back, which is very good. So then we have Laser Whip. So we can use Laser Whip here. Laser Whip is probably like on your non-EX turns, this is the skill you're going to use the most. You can see it did do a 1-turn delay to all targets. It is high turn rate, so she's going to come up pretty quick. And then that gives the debuff that applies to all enemies. It's a turn rate down debuff. So it's very, very good because that's not a very common debuff to have. So to have that turn rate down is very good. So it basically is going to kind of slow down the enemies to allow you to keep delaying and kind of keep your turns in front of them, right? All right, so that's basically it. She's pretty simple, right? So we'll go ahead and do one more turn. I think my AA too, like I just got her to C90 and I don't think I equipped her C90 passive yet, or C88 passive, so I'll have to do that so she gets the better version. But yeah, you can see Homing Whip is already up again. So what we can do is, just as an example, let's do a Degenerator Whip. We can push this guy back 4 turns. They're about to pop their whatever effect, so that's fine. It's non-lethal, so they can pop their orb. But yeah, you can see she's very good. We can just keep pushing the enemies back. And like I said, the EX now is a lot stronger. Actually, taking the double there isn't that good. That's all right. We might die here. That's fine. Nope. Garnet's going to save us. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, we'll just do like one more turn here. But that's basically her in a nutshell. The biggest thing to remember is that you don't want to use the LD right away. You want to use at least one Degenerator Whip off the bat. Make sure you're refreshing that with the LD as you go. And then using the EX when you have it to do pretty decent damage. So we could pop the EX right here. Once again, she's got a lot of high turn rate. She's got decent buffs and auras going on that basically just by spreading these attacks out, you're going to keep refreshing those buffs that you need. And once again, she's the delay queen, and she's the only one that can delay enemies that resist delay. So anyways, let me know what you all think of Quistis. I think she's a really fun character to have. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all in the next one.